Engines roar, the night ignites, rubber burns under neon lights, chrome shining, stars align, dreams hit the track, now it's grind time. Wrapped tight, tailpipes glow, pit stop precision, gotta keep that flow. Crowds a jungle, hearts in the choke, lap by lap, adrenaline spoke. Speed kings, chasing that checkered crown. Under the moon, we don't slow down. Saturday nights, we ride, we fly. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels, heat from the asphalt raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds, grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal, victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms, the checkered flag, it seals the room. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels, heat from the asphalt raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds, grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal, victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms, the checkered flag, it seals the room. Engines roar, the night ignites, rubber burns under neon lights, chrome shining, stars align, dreams hit the track, now it's grind time. Wrapped tight, tailpipes glow, pit stop precision, gotta keep that flow. Crowds a jungle, hearts in the choke, lap by lap, adrenaline spoke. Speed kings, chasing that checkered crown. Under the moon, we don't slow down. Saturday nights, we ride, we fly. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels, heat from the asphalt raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds, grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal, victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms, the checkered flag, it seals the room. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels, heat from the asphalt raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds, grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal, victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms, the checkered flag, it seals the room.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Dover International Speedway as Miles the Monster looking to claim victory here this evening over all these drivers. But for each and every one of them, they are hoping to knock Miles out and looking to put themselves up and into victory lane, trying to tame the concrete monster here this evening at Dover for what will be a very fun, very entertaining night of racing action. Is qualifying underway right now, drivers getting their laps in, trying to make sure they are locked, stocked, and loaded here for this A main feature event. Isaiah Adams, he's getting his final lap in here for the 4 ride, and right now he's currently qualified in that 12th position. We do have Jack Fletcher and Jordan Crider yet to jump out there for qualifying. Unfortunately, they're going to run out of time here in a quick hurry. Abram Gostin's already done. He's parked down pit side. Adams, he's already done his second lap, so this third lap is not going to count, but he'll stay right there in position number 12 as of right now. As qualifying quickly coming to a close, that means we'll get ready to set them loose. We'll get ready to go to battle here in this one as Jimmy 3 times says congratulations to Nathan Brookover. Brookover with the win here in qualifying, man. A big run, man, for the birth of his healthy son, and he gets the pole position. What? It's rigged. It's rigged, Jimmy 3 times. It's rigged. No, I'm just kidding. Brookover, great lap, and now a new dad, and all of a sudden he's just came in, firing on all cylinders now for the number 7 ride as qualifying does come to a close. We'll get ready to rock and roll here for our A main feature event as we'll get a quick word in here from our amazing command officer here, the guy to give us the opening command this afternoon, Lonnie Crider, and to the band to play our national anthem here on this Memorial Day showdown.
We'd ask everyone, if they could, to stand and remove your hats as the Boone County High School band from Florence, Kentucky does our national anthem. Thank you very much. Boone County High School from Florence, Kentucky doing our national anthem. Gentlemen, start those engines and let's go racing.
Alrighty, huge shout out there to Lonnie Crider coming in with our opening command. Huge shout out to the band for our national anthem here this evening as we get ready to rock and roll. We get ready to go to battle here this evening as each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to put themselves up and into victory lane as we get 200 laps of racing action here this evening from the beautiful Dover International Speedway, as each and every one of these cats hoping to tame Miles the Monster here this evening, a track that definitely bites back. Out there on the racetrack, it is going to be one that is almost too tough to tame here on the concrete. Is Brookover with a great lap. New dad, huge congratulations there to Brookover for the birth of his healthy newborn son, and a huge congratulations to Brookover for the pole position here this evening in that number 7 7 ride. To his outside in the number 31 machine is Brandon Holder, who will start there in second. Back in position number 3 in the 6th ride, it's Brian Underwood. To his outside in the Monster Energy number 1, that is Jeremy Jeffries, and starting back in that 5th position, the 22, it's Abram Ghostin. To his outside, the 78 ride, that is Brian Cook in the Freebird number 78 machine, as we see a little tire spin here on the outside lane as we end all of the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Dover, and it's Brookover who's able to get the run down through 1 and 2. He keeps his foot in the throttle, and he will lead us down the back straightaway nice and easy for the first time here this evening down into corner number 3. And now to corner number 4, it's Brookover who will lead lap number 1, but he tags the outside fence. Pretty solid lick right there for the 7 ride. You got to be very, very careful. You do not want to run into that. As look out! Contact back there behind him. They're wrecking down through corner 1 and 2. Alrighty, so it took us a lap in a quarter here to see the caution flag get thrown at Dover as the Concrete Monster will claim its first couple victims here this evening as John Sheen, Isaiah Adams, both get some damage right here. I do believe we saw the 9 ride of Melvin Brengruer also turned around. Let's take another look at it here as there was some pretty solid contact, and I believe we may see Josh Crider, one of those drivers. So it looks like Brookover's got to get a little checked up here. They're stacking up in front of him. The 5 of Crider sends it in there just a little too deep right here. Gets a good run, but as they're checking up here in front of him, he tries to take advantage of it. Shoots down to the inside right here, trying to make a big move underneath the 4 and the 9 ride. Unfortunately, washes up into Brengruer, knocks him sideways. Then you see the 4 ride having to get checked up for Crider and the 9. John Sheen's right there as they all kind of get tangled together right here. Unfortunately, it looks like Sean Merriman just able to squeeze through there without any major contact or damage there for the Metallica number 18 ride. So that's a great break there for the 18 machine, but unfortunately for a couple of these other ones, man, not so lucky, not so great as there's the contact. And everyone else just kind of piling into it, man. Pretty solid damage there for the 4. The 9 ride with heavy left front damage there. Unfortunately, he's going to have to park it down pit side here and get some heavy repairs done. I'm assuming we'll see Isaiah Adams with some big damage repairs and a lot of work being done to that number 4 ride, as well as John Sheen in the 55 and potentially Josh Crider as well. Crider did get some damage out of that. Doesn't look like it's too bad, but he'll keep on battling. He'll keep on duking it out here in this one as my boy Big Pilo, Chris in the house. What's good, Big Pilo? Coming in, showing the love. Says, Miles the Monster ain't got nothing on Peacemaker. No, he doesn't, brother. No, he doesn't. Coming in with a $2 super chat as well, and popping in with the jewels as well. Sent a star for 2 jewels and sparkles for 2 jewels as well. The jewels are a whole new thing that I'm trying to get used to, but I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. I love seeing the comment section moving and seeing the jewels coming in and seeing all the crazy things that YouTube has going over here nowadays. And our boy Big Pilo, man, coming in big again here tonight with the super chat, with the jewels, man. We appreciate you and appreciate the support and love that you show here on Peacemaker Gaming. And yes, Miles the Monster, he ain't got nothing on us, baby. He ain't got nothing on us. As Brookover continues to lead the way here, obviously out in front. Now, he did get into that fence pretty good. Luckily enough, it doesn't look like it really caused too much damage or any damage at all for the Fireball Whiskey number 7 ride. So that is a great break there for the 7 ride. But man, you get into that wall a couple more times like that, unfortunately, Miles the Monster, man, he's going to get a hold of you and he's going to take you out. And that is something that you want to, try to avoid, especially this early in the race, as Brookover will get ready for this restart. He's going to choose the outside lane here, which is a big move right here for the 7 ride. I'm not too sure about it. I mean, the outside lane, I mean, if you can get the launch, you can get the run, then I think the outside will prove to be the better lane, especially down to corner number 1. But man, I've seen so much tire spin out of that outside groove, and it's early in the race, not a whole lot of rubber laid down there. It's pretty sparse up there on the outside for little grip, so we'll have to wait and see what Brookover's got in store for us, see what he can do here on this restart. As Brookover, Underwood, 1 and 2. Oh man, the memes out in front. It's the 6-7 rides of Underwood and Brookover who will see the green flag fly here in this one. And quickly, the 7 machine jumps out in front. Great launch. Great start, exactly what Brookover needed. Man, he has got some speed here at Dover. He has found something. He is absolutely zooming, especially on these restarts, to really just pull away from the rest of the field. Underwood had nothing for him, but we'll see if Underwood can kind of reel him back in, as now we do see some more contact back there behind him. Look out, drivers bouncing around. We saw the 11 up into the outside fence, the 64, the 3 of Ilardo, all having to get checked up right there, and now some more issues. Hang on to it. Oh man, Kevin Calkins having himself a lap and a half right there. My gosh, that 11 ride all over the place, just trying to keep this thing pointing in the right direction. Now you do see damage on the 11, damage on that 64 ride, and you see Brangerer right there in the middle of it. Oh, the 11 of Calkins is going to give him a shot there into the back bumper. Had to get checked up there himself, as early on, man, it's been chaos here for the 11 ride, and for Calkins, he's going to fall all the way back into our second to last position here, the penultimate spot on the racetrack, into 17th as of right now, but it looks like he will fall back to the rear of the field as Jordan Crider will move the Pony Express ride around him as well. Now, Jack Fletcher, our boy Fletcher, not out there on the racetrack. Heartbreaker to see Fletcher not out there rolling in his Home Depot rigid ride, but unfortunately he is not out there on the speedway to start this race and already finds himself 9 laps back. But out in front, it's Nathan Brookover who leads the charge. Brookover out in front in 4. The 7 machine obviously looking for a big day, a big race here for that number 7 ride, and knowing that he wants to try to put himself up and into the winner's circle here this evening, he's going to have 50 laps here in this first stage to try to win some good stage points here. For our second playoff race of the season, you want to earn these points. You want to be out in front, leading the charge, lead as many laps as you can, and trying to win these stage points. And for a driver like Brookover, these stage points could be make or break here in his Season 7 championship hopes out there on the racetrack. As of right now, let's take a look here at our season standings. So 9th to 12th are eliminated in the first round. As of right now, coming into this race, Grant Wesley and Danny White are tied for 11th. So they are tied for the 2nd or 11th and 12th position here. So both in elimination positions. Unfortunately, they come in quite a bit behind that cut line. I believe they both come in 23 points behind Melvin Brangerer for that 9th and final transfer into our second round of these playoffs. So right now, for obviously a couple of these drivers, when you're looking at Brangerer, when you're looking at Holder, Crider, they're right there on that bubble. But as you start to look a little farther forward at Wesley Burke, Brian Underwood, Jack Fletcher even, they're a little bit more safe, a little bit more at ease here coming into this race. And for Fletcher, he's here. He hasn't ran a lap. He will get last place points here, unfortunately, and not quite probably what he was looking for on a playoff race, but nonetheless, he'll see what he can get. Hopefully that keeps him above that cut line. But coming into this one, our race leader, Nathan Brookover, he was in 10th position. So I guess 4 drivers get eliminated. 9th of Brangerer, Brookover, Grant Wesley, Danny White, all were on the outside looking in here, all needing some extra points to work their way into a transfer spot into the second round of these playoffs. And for Brookover right now, being out in front, that's a great spot for him to be now. Brandon Holder, who's right there behind him, he was just above that cut line, tied there for 7th and 8th. For the point standings, the last 2 spots there into the second round. So for him and Crider, they'll be looking for big races themselves. And for Brangerer, Brookover, Wesley, and White, they'll be looking for some really solid days here this evening. And for Wesley Burke, he's just sitting there in 3rd right now. He's feeling A-OK as we do see Brandon Holder able to jump up and take the race lead away from Nathan Brookover. So it took about 16 laps, but all of a sudden, Brookover falls to 2nd, and Brandon Holder jumps out in front. Holder now leads the charge. Brookover back to second. Wesley Burke there in third, with Brian Underwood and Jeremy Jeffries rounding out our top 5 here in the standings in the running right now here on the racetrack. Brian Cook back there in that 6th position. Now, I do believe for Jeremy Jeffries and Cook, both drivers not a part of our playoffs here this year. So a tough break there for them. Our top 4 are all playoff drivers. Abram Ghost, and I do believe missed out on the playoffs as well. Josh Crider came into this race virtually right there at that cut line, needing to have himself a big day to try to keep himself above that cut line. But right now rolling in about the 8th, 9th position as he sees Grant Wesley get around him. That's one of the drivers back behind him here in the point standings, trying to chase him down. Jonathan Gaston, another one of our playoff drivers, came into this race sitting in 5th. Sure, he's going to look for some big points as well. As honestly, from, I'm going to say 5th on back, it's still fairly tight, especially to that cut line. I mean, from 5th place in points, Jonathan Gaston came in with 2,032 points, only 9 points back and above that cut line to Melvin Brenger. So Brenger only 9 points back of 5th place here in the point standing. So, I mean, he has lots of opportunities, lots of chances here to leapfrog some drivers and put himself a little farther forward, as we do see Ilardo there in that 11th position, as now Gaston and Crider battle there for 9th and 10th. Brenger is right there on the outside of the top 10 looking in. Sean Merriman on the outside of the top 10, as well as Danny White back there in that 15th position. Jack Fletcher still off the racetrack and not out there on the speedway. Kevin Calkins, unfortunately, with that damage, those slip-ups, that contact into the fence, getting ran over, running into the back end, I do believe, of the 9 rider Brenger for the number 11 ride, the Blue Bulls machine. Unfortunately, he has had to make a emergency green flag pit stop, so he did come down pit road there during the green flag action that has put him a couple laps down here. Now, luckily enough, he is in line for the free passes here. If we get a couple quick caution flags, could see himself get back on lead lap and back into the battle here this evening. But out in front, it's Brandon Holder. Holder continues to lead the way, man. Holder out in front, has the top spot, and he's running away with it right now. Brookover still trying to hold on to second, but it's Wesley Burke putting the pressure on him here. Burke looking to try to move up into position number 2. We'll roll down to the inside here of that 7 ride, and all of a sudden, Wesley Burke up into position number 2 here on the speedway. And for Brookover, our pole sitter and early race leader, he'll fall back into position number 3. We'll see if he can battle his way back up there. Maybe put up a fight for second here in a lap or two, see if he can mount another challenge to try to work his way back towards the front of the pack here. And he's got to be careful, though, as the 1 ride of Jeremy Jeffries right there, ready to pounce as well, ready to make some moves here himself, ready to try to put himself up and into that 3rd spot here on the speedway, especially with some big points on the line here for playoff drivers. I mean, you want these points badly here. If you're Wesley Burke, if you're that number 31 of Brandon Holder, you're almost desperate if you are Holder being right on that cut line. If you're Brookover, you gotta be dire need of it coming in below that cut line in the point standings. So it's gonna be really, really interesting here to see how much of a fight he's gonna do here with this number 1 runner, Jeremy Jeffries, a non-playoff driver, and how much fight Jeffries may give him for position number 3, knowing that he's not a part of that battle for the point standings. And Abram Ghostin back there in 5th, another non-playoff driver there inside our top 5. Could be the break that, Holder needs to kind of pull away from the cut line. Maybe the break that Brookover needs to leapfrog his way forward here in that, in the playoff standings, as Grant Wesley there in 6th. Underwood's falling back into 7th. Gaston's there in 8th. Jonathan Ilardo's up into 9th, and Brian Cook has fallen now into that 10th position here on the speedway. But you do see Sean Merriman has worked his way up into 11th. Josh Crider has fallen outside of the top 10, and as of right now, that is on the outside of some bonus points here, some stage points for that 5 rider Crider. Crider is going to be in dire need of them, as well as Brenger, who's back there in 13th. Both of our playoff cats currently outside of the top 10 looking in here. Same with Danny White in that 64 ride. Jack Fletcher also not out there on the racetrack. But for Brandon Holder, he leads the charge here. He's got 2.5 seconds between himself and Wesley Burke as Jeremy Jeffries now going to work here on Brookover, rolling that inside lane. Brookover up on the high side, and all of a sudden Abram Gastons right there in that battle as well. The 1 slides up, just clears that 7 machine, but a good run out of core number 4 there for Brookover, trying to stay to the outside of that number 1 Ryan, trying to keep himself right here in this battle, but he's going to have to try to hold on to position number 3 for a lot of laps here. We're still about, 19 laps this time by the start-finish line from seeing our first stage break of the day. So our first stage still very, very far away here for these drivers as Big Pilo coming in with the horns up. That Rob Beaver says, sucks I couldn't make the race in my Gorilla Garage door car. Got stuck working late. Says, what happened with Fletcher? Fletcher, I don't know. He didn't jump out there. So I'm not 100% sure. I feel like Jack Fletcher may have had prior commitments, may have just jumped in, made sure he got basically what would be starting points or show up points here this afternoon, trying to at least minimize the damage of not being able to make it to the race. So he just logged in, didn't run any qualifying laps, and has not jumped in on the racetrack as of yet either. So unfortunately for Fletcher, looks like he's just going to come in, get last place points, and hope that it's enough to keep him above that cut line or still within striking distance of that cut line to keep him in the battle for moving forward in our championship fight here this evening. As that Rob Beaver says, Holder is putting space between them. He is definitely putting space between them, man. It is now 3 seconds, man. It's only been 3 laps, so he's gaining 0.3 of a second every single lap. That time by, it was 0.3 of a second between himself and Wesley Burke. So Holder is just pulling away from the rest of the field. And you do see that number 88 Ryan Grant Wesley, who missed last week's race. He's up into that 3rd position. He needs a couple big runs, a couple big races here to try to even give himself a shot at trying to advance into the next round of these playoffs. As Abram Gastons also able to work his way around Nathan Brookover. Brookover falls all the way back now into that 5th position. All of a sudden, here comes Jonathan Gaston. Here comes Jonathan Elardo right there ready to make some moves. Underwood's there in 8th as Jeremy Jeffries falls back into position number 9. Brian Cook, Sean Merriman, as it looks like Cook is down on the apron right here. Cook shoots down to the apron. Looks like he's going to make a green flag pit stop here for the Freebird number 78 machine. This is a odd strategy call. He's going to lose a couple laps here, unless if everyone else has to make a green flag pit stop here in this first cycle of the day, in this first stage. If everyone can make it to the end of the stage, it's going to put Brian Cook at a very, very difficult position, but I believe everyone may have to come find pit road. As now here we go. We see our 2-time champion here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League, the number 6 of Brian Underwood. Underwood hits pit road. He's looking to get some work done. He's trying to get this car a little fuel, a little tire, and now here comes our race leader as well. Brandon Holder hits pit road. So I wonder if maybe Holder was gaining so much time. Maybe he was going so far there because he wasn't saving fuel. Maybe that was the big difference maker. Maybe that fuel savings for a few of these drivers may play a key role in this race. But for majority of these cats, I mean, really, they only made it there about 38 laps. We're going to see some of them like Burke and Abram Gastons. A few of these guys, they're going to push it a little bit farther as they just completed lap number 39. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough fuel to go another 11 laps out there on the racetrack. I feel like that's going to be a really, really tough thing to do here this evening, is trying to stretch that fuel out that far that you can put yourself into a, into an area where you can kind of try to trap a couple of these drivers multiple laps down out there on the speedway. It's going to be really, really tough, but there are a few drivers that did come down pit road there on lap 3, lap number 4, when you look back at Sean Merriman, Jordan Crider. They were down pit side back on lap number 4. For Jonathan Gaston, it was lap 3. For John Sheen, he was down pit side on lap 3. So was Brent Brewer and Isaiah Adams. You got to wonder, are they trying to stretch the fuel out here, and how much is that going to potentially help them out here? Is Brandon Holder just down across the line right now? He finds himself currently about a lap down out there on the speedway. So he is a lap down out there on the racetrack. If you are this 31 run, you're currently the highest running driver that has been down pit road. Can you race your way back to the lead lap, or will you be kind of stuck maybe in this free pass position? As now we do see Josh Crider in the Rubbered Up Productions Gastons Graphics number 5 ride hitting pit road right here on lap number 42. So he's completed 42 laps, has to make this pit stop. But as you look out in front, it's going to be really kind of a good idea here on where, you know, Wesley Burke is able to go, as we do see Abram Ghostin. He's going to shoot down pit sign here as well. So, man, it's going to get really interesting. It's going to get interesting in a quick hurry. As Crider's down pit side, Ghostin's down pit road. Fuel, tires, everything going to kind of get into play here. You're going to wonder how much fuel and tire Brookover was able to save here. As here he comes. He has to shoot down pit road, so he's able to save a little bit there. That's probably why we saw him fall back a bit throughout that run. But he finally hits pit road himself. Danny White can't go any farther. He's down pit side as well in that beautiful Gastons iRacing Graphics number 64 ride. But for Wesley Burke, he stays out here. He has now ran 44 laps. It's about to be 45 laps here, and he's still not coming down pit road. All he's got to do is make it 5 more laps to try to win our first stage of the day. As Jonathan Gaston also staying out there, he's going with it. Now, he did come down pit road on lap number 3. Jeffries is yet to make a pit stop at all here today. Sean Merriman, John Sheen, Jordan Crider, Brangruer, Isaiah Adams were all down pit road there on lap 3, lap 4, as we do see Gaston's hitting pit lane. Here we go. Gaston's down pit side. So isn't that one of Jeremy Jeffries. So they got a pit, but Burke still staying out here. Man, it's going to be quite surprising. If Burke can make it here to the end, it's going to be absolutely wild that he's going to be able to make it this far, and everybody else is going to be kind of stuck back there behind him here. Obviously, a lot of drivers will be in line to try to get free passes, lucky dogs, and everything else to try to get back into the battle here, but some drivers will probably be tracked multiple laps down out there on the speedway, and that could put them into a very, very difficult position. We do see John Sheen now hitting pit road here himself, as we are only a couple laps away from seeing the stage come to an end, and somehow or another, Wesley Burke doing his best Joey Logano impression, finding some miraculous fuel in the tank of the 09 ride, and just able to coast it, able to take his time here. Holder still a lap down, back there in that 5th position. So isn't Grant Wesley. I do believe for 6 of Underwood may have gotten a penalty down pit road here. He's multiple laps down back there in that 18th position now on the speedway. Isaiah Adams also down pit side getting his stop in, but Wesley Burke, last lap here in stage number 1. Burke, Sean Merriman, Jordan Crider, Melvin Brengerer all saving fuel. And it looks like they're all going to be able to make it here to the end of this stage. Is down through corner number 3, nice and easy. Out of corner number 4, Underwood's trying to get a lap back. He will at least snag 1 lap back right there, as the 09 of Wesley Burke does jump up and wins our first stage of the day. Now, luckily enough, the stage caution is not going to come out until our 10th place driver crosses the line. So Brandon Holder was able to drive himself back onto the lead lap right here. There it is. Caution flag is out as Brookover, our 10th place driver there in that stage, crosses the line. But it's all Wesley Burke, man. Huge strategy call here. Gives Burke the stage win. Sean Merriman will come home in 2nd. Jordan Crider there in 3rd. Melvin Brengerer, who desperately needed these points, comes home in position number 4. Brandon Holder, Grant Wesley, Jonathan Elardo, Abram Ghostin, Jonathan Gaston, and Nathan Brookover going to round out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Ryan Cook there in position number 11 with Josh Crider, Danny White. John Sheen's back there in position number 14. Jeremy Jeffries is in 15th. Kevin Calkins back in 16th. Now, I do believe for Kevin Calkins, he is currently scored 2 laps down right here. I know the 09 is desperately looking for pit lane right here. He wants pit road to open up. He wants to be able to make it down pit side here, get fuel, get tires, get everything else that he needs as he hits pit road. So does Sean Merriman, Jordan Crider. I believe we're going to see Brandon Holder probably stay out here. He'll consume the race lead. Melvin Brangerer, not sure if he took an early wave around or what happened here. He also stopped here on the back straightaway. I'm not sure what's going on with Brangerer, but I do believe he may be out of fuel, actually, for the 9 ride. So I think for the 9 of Brangerer, he may be out of fuel. That's a huge uh-oh for him as he is still rolling down the back straightaway, trying to get this thing into pit lane. And this is the gamble you take, is you don't also have to make it 50 laps to the end of the stage. You got to make it 50 laps plus past the end of the stage. Unfortunately, here for the 9 ride, he's about to go a lap down out there on the racetrack. He's about to lose a lap as Burke able to win the race off of pit road. Merriman will come out in second. Jordan Crider there in third. Brandon Holder does hit pit road. He comes out in position number 4. Grant Wesley going to get the lucky dog, the wave around back on the lead lap. He'll be scored there in that 5th position here on the Speedway. Brian Cook, Danny White, Jeremy Jeffries, the 6 ride right there. That is Brian Underwood. A lot of these drivers are going to be looking for wave arounds, but we do see Danny head back down pit side here. That's going to take him out of a wave around position, so looks like maybe they've already kind of cycled their way. I don't know how this is going to work, because they're going to go a lap down here. Yeah, once our race leaders go back around them, they are going to lose a lap, and that's going to keep them a lap down. That's going to put them into a really, really bad spot. You want to be in front of the race leader, so that way you can get these wave arounds right here, and unfortunately, I think for a lot of these drivers, they're not going to get it here, as we're going to see a lot of drivers a lap down taking this restart. I believe right now only 7 drivers scored on the lead lap. Abram Ghostin, Jonathan Elardo, Josh Crider, Jonathan Gaston, John Sheen, Nathan Brookover, who's down pit side, Danny White, Brian Underwood, Kevin Calkins, who's just gotten a black flag down pit road, all a lap or multiple laps down. There's Isaiah Adams still down pit side. Melvin Brangerer still down pit road, who's now down a multiple laps as he's had to tow this car down pit lane. And unfortunately for that 9 ride, he's probably going to lose a few more laps here because that tow call may be a little bit longer, and we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. And the crew, I don't even know if has serviced that race car yet. He is still in pit lane. Calkins is about to roll out onto the racetrack. Oh gosh, that's going to be deadly here as our race leaders are going to be right to his rear bumper in a quick hurry as we see the green flag come back out. Green flag in the air for the 09 of Wesley Burke, Sean Merriman, Brandon Holder. Now that 33 rider, Jordan Crider, Grant Wesley, Brian Cook, Jeremy Jeffries, all sitting in a golden position right here, being the only 7 drivers currently scored on the lead lap as Abram Ghostin holds on to that lucky dog position as our top 2 drivers out there on the Speedway looking to duke it out here as Wesley Burke leads the charge. The number 18 of Sean Merriman rolls there in position number 2. Now you got to wonder here, what's the strategy call here for the rest of these drivers? If you do see Kevin Calkins, he's got to come down pit road. He's got to serve this black flag penalty that he had received during the pit stops here, and unfortunately, he's got to come back down pit side here and serve that penalty. We do see Brangerer rolling back out onto the racetrack, so it's great to see Melvin roll back out here onto the Speedway. Unfortunately for Melvin Brangerer, as he rolls down the back straightaway right now, he does find himself currently, I do believe, 4 laps down out there on the racetrack. 4 laps down, could be potentially 5 laps down here in a quick hurry. As Merriman, Burke, Holder, all right there, stacked up on top of one another. They're putting together a great show and a great race here this evening as Sean Merriman, Burke, and Holder, 1, 2, and 3 out there on the Speedway. The few drivers back here behind them are all lapped down. You look at Abram Ghostin, you look at Elardo, Josh Crider in the 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston. They're all lapped down, but we do see the caution flag come out. Oh no, yellow flag is displayed. I do believe we are going to see Jeremy Jeffries run into some issues right here. Looks like tight racing between himself and some of the lap traffic. That 64 and Danny White up on the high side, the one down low, and it just looks like, I don't know what in the world I just saw right there. Looks like maybe the 64 trying to keep himself out of the fence right here. Danny just pushes up the racetrack, then he's trying to keep it out of the wall, and it looks like as he's trying to turn left to keep it out of the fence, it just comes down a little too far, and right here, see him get loose right there. The car wiggles a little bit, steps out on him, starts to push up the racetrack. The one ride's coming to quick hurry. I don't even think Danny probably even realized he was there till it was too late, and now he's trying to keep himself out of the fence. They make a little contact there. They bounce off of one another again, and unfortunately for Danny and for Jeffries, they get tied together. The one ride pointing the wrong direction. Good solid damage on both drivers as they get tied together and turned around out there on the speedway. For Jeffries, pointing the wrong direction, he'll wash down the racetrack. Luckily enough, no additional contact in potentially getting into that infield safer barrier. Luckily enough, no more additional contact there, so that's a great break for him, but unfortunately that doesn't bring the caution flag back out, and that's going to mix things up a little bit more here as we do see Wesley Burke. He's going to stay out. Brian Cook stays out. Jordan Crider stays out. Now, for these guys, I mean, it's smart because, I mean, this is probably going to set them up for this final stage to be able to make it here on fuel. I think they're probably going to be pretty good, especially after the fuel savings they were able to do throughout that first stint. Now, for Brian Cook, he was last down pit side on lap number 36. He rolls in second right now, but last time he was down pit lane was on lap 36. I mean, he's kind of in a spot that, you know, he's going to have to maybe make a green flag pit stop here nonetheless if we do go green clean racing here for a good, 10, 15, 20 laps out there on the racetrack. He may be forced to hit pit road no matter what here throughout this stage. So I'm amazed that he did not take that opportunity to hit pit lane and just keep himself out there. Same with Crider there in third as Sean Merriman did hit pit road as he's back in fourth. Brandon Holder scored there in fifth. Grant Wesley scored in sixth. Jeremy Jeffries back in seventh, and Abram Ghostin able to get the lucky dog back on the lead lap. And for the 22 ride, will rejoin the hunt at the front here this evening as he is now back onto the lead lap. As Josh Crider now scored as the first driver, one lap down, back in the ninth position as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to roll, ready to rumble here, ready to go back to green flag racing. And unfortunately for drivers that are stuck a little farther back here, when you look at Brenger, you do see him back down pit road here in that 9 ride. Unfortunately for Brenger, being multiple laps down, back in 17th. Unfortunately here, he's going to have to see a lot of other drivers get wave arounds, free passes, lucky dogs, something to kind of get more drivers onto the lead lap here and open up the possibility of him getting, some laps back. And he's going to have to battle here with the 11 of Kevin Calkins for, even that lucky dog position as they're both 4 laps down out there on the racetrack as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening as Wesley Burke ready to rock and roll, ready to see that green flag fly once again this evening. Alrighty, green flag is out, and Burke gets another great launch, another good restart there for the Blue Bulls number 09 ride. As Burke leads the charge, will take us back down the back straightaway here at Dover International Speedway. The Monster Mile here this evening as Burke will lead us back down across the line here. He'll lead lap number 63 here this evening as he sits out in front. He'll look to try to keep Sean Merriman back there at bay as Brian Cook there in third. Brandon Holder right up into position number 4 and looking for more here, trying to work his way back to the front of this field as we do see 3 wide. Right there behind him is the 33. Gets up the racetrack. Look out. There they go. Big hits, big licks. A bunch of drivers turned around. Huge contact here for a bunch of cats, and the caution flag is back out for the, I believe now the fourth time here this afternoon. So our fourth caution flag of the day, as you saw the 33 push up the racetrack right here, and it's just 3 wide racing, and unfortunately 3 wide. Lonnie Crider, he's trying to keep himself up and out of the way here a little bit. There goes the 88, and all of a sudden here comes the 55 right, a Sheen right into it, and unfortunately for the 33, he doesn't really have much else room to go here. He's as high up as he can be, and it looks like maybe the 55 just gets in there. Rolls up the racetrack, and John Sheen kind of going right up in front of him here. Cuts his nose off. They get up into the outside fence, and from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong is right here. You see the 33 up the track. 55 pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, and unfortunately pushes the 33 and himself too far right there. They get turned around. You do see Brian Underwood. He's into it. He gets some contact and damage there as the 4 rider Adams gets contact into it, and that's 9 right there, Brangruer. A driver that desperately needed some things to go his way. Unfortunately, not quite going his way right here as he gets into the back end of that 9 right into the infield fence as well. Heavy damage there for that Thrustmaster Toyota. Heavy damage there for Brangruer. He's going to have to take that thing back down pit side. Look to get some more extended repairs done to that race car. And I believe you're going to see Kevin Calkins also end up with some pretty solid damage into this. He's in behind the 9 right here. He gets in there, goes for the middle, and unfortunately gets right into that left rear side of that 33 right. Big damage there for him. Big damage for so many drivers here. Look at the 33, just pointing the wrong direction there. Creeping down the racetrack. Broken toe length there in that 33 machine. And unfortunately, man, there's a lot of tore up race cars out there on the speedways. There's the contact, and there they all start to pile in, man. Big hits, big licks for a lot of these cats, and unfortunately, a lot of tore up sheet metal, a lot of tore up race cars, and a lot of good nights going out the window there for some of our premium Stock Car Racing League drivers here this evening. Now, I do believe with that caution flag, great news too. The Crider boys, as Josh Crider will get the lucky dog. He will get back on the lead lap, so that's a great break there for Josh Crider. Now for Lonnie Crider, obviously he did not want to be a part of that yellow flag. Now he's had to use his quick repair up, and luckily enough, the car is back into one piece. He's able to rejoin the hunt here at the front, and obviously now just no longer has that quick repair in his back pocket. As you do see, Jonathan Gaston still scored a lap down out there on the racetrack, and I think for a lot of these drivers now, they're going to be feeling pretty good knowing that, they're going to be, in line here to maybe gain some big positions, some big points here in our point standings this afternoon as Aram Ghostin does hit pit lane. I believe Jonathan Elardo, Jonathan Gaston, Brian Underwood, Danny White, all going to be battling here for the lucky dog. So is it Nathan Brookover. John Sheen still down pit road here. He's going to get rolling back out there. Good news there is he'll be able to keep on battling. He scored a lap down, I do believe, for Isaiah Adams. He's back out there. Now for Adams, he is 2 laps down out there on the speedway. Kevin Calkins, multiple laps down. He's still down pit side, and I believe for Melvin Brangruer is taking his car off the racetrack, and as of right now, currently out of this race. And we do see Jack Fletcher's loaded in here. He's down pit side, but has not joined this race as of yet. Oh, looks like he's going to take that car and everything right out of the race now. So it looks like he's going to shut down the PC system and exit the server here as he'll take his last place points here today. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Let's try it all over again here. We still got some good laps to go until the end of stage number 2 here. It's the completion of lap 100 will be the end of our second stage of the day. And as of right now, for Wesley Burke, already winning stage number 1, sitting out in front here, feeling A-OK, leading the charge here in stage number 2. He's looking for some more big bonus points to go into his back pocket for Sean Merriman. Right there in position number 2, looking for some good stage points here for himself. So isn't Brandon Holder. Grant Wesley looking for some big stage points. And now we do see a couple of our other playoff drivers trying to work their way back into the magic here. Josh Crider back onto the lead lap here, back into the battle. Maybe maybe he can gain some extra good points here, try to earn some stage points here in stage number 2. Missed out on stage number 1, but here in stage 2, maybe Josh Crider can bounce back from it here in this one. Abram Ghostin, Jordan Crider back there. Jonathan Hilardo currently scored in the 10th position. He is currently in that free pass spot, trying to work his way back on the lead lap as Hilardo rolls there in 10th. Underwood's right behind him. So is in Jonathan Gaston. Broke over Danny White. John Sheen a little farther back there in 15th. All battling here for the lucky dog this afternoon. It's going to be a tight fight all the way up there. And unfortunately for Kevin Calkins, already down out of this race, basically. Same with Melvin Brengruer as we started. Technically, 18 drivers took the green flag, and currently right now, only 16 drivers still rolling out there on the speedway, as we've already lost 2 cats here today to some pretty solid damaged legs out there on the speedway. Sean Merriman, though, does take the race lead. Holder jumps up into second. Burke falls back into that 3rd spot here on the racetrack. So this is a big move and a big fall for that 09, Wesley Burke. He's now back in 3rd. We'll have to wait and see if he can find that extra gear here later in this stage. Maybe just trying to play a little bit safer, a little bit smarter right here. Maybe he still knows he needs to save a little bit of fuel out there on the racetrack. As our boy Fletcher in the comment section. What's good, Jack? What's good, brother? Mr. Fletcher coming in, showing the love with the let's go, babies. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Fletcher. How are you, brother? How you doing this afternoon? And where the heck are you, man? How the heck are you? Wesley's race, I'm calling it. He's calling it, he says. All right, he thinks Grant Wesley's going to get it done here in this one. I mean, that's a good choice, man. I mean, Wesley's looked really, really solid here this afternoon, man. Or do you mean Wesley Burke? I always get those two mixed up. Wesley Burke or Grant Wesley? I believe it's Wesley. You put the 2 S's there in the West. So, stuck at work, was too late tonight. Ah, brother, that sucks. That sucks, man. You and Beaver both had that issue here tonight, man. He couldn't get his Gorilla Garage Doors car out there under the racetrack and into the battle here this evening either, man. So that's a tough break for both of you guys, man. Stuck at work, that's never fun. That's never a good time. And for Mr. Robert Wolf and for Mr. Jack Fletcher, man, to not be able to jump out there, not to be able to have some fun here this evening and in this race, I mean, it's heartbreaking. We love seeing those guys out there on the racetrack, as right now everyone's still putting together a great run, as Fletcher says, Grant, Burke's my boy, though. Hey, yeah, I mean, either Wesley works. They're both looking good. They're both battling against each other right now. Wesley Burke down low in the Blue Bulls number 09. Grant Wesley in the 88 ride, the Menards iRacing machine. There in the outside groove as they battle for position number 3 here on the Speedway. It's the battle of the Wesleys here this evening, and it looks like Grant Wesley maybe with a little extra bump and run right there down into corner number 1 as Jeremy Jeffries working on his back bumper there, maybe giving him a little extra shove here, a little extra power down through and out of these corners, and all of a sudden we do see the 88 able to pull out in front, and Grant Wesley takes over position number 3. Is down across the line. They complete lap number 79. So 79 laps down here in this race. 79 laps done here today. And for these drivers, I mean, there's still a lot of racing left to go. We still got to figure out who wins this stage, as Brandon Holder and Sean Merriman now battling door to door for the top spot here. We'll see if they continue to battle side by side, if the Wesleys can hunt them down, if Jeremy Jeffries and Josh Crider can work their way into some of that battle there, as we do see Josh Crider a little farther back here. He's about 4 seconds back of our race leaders, but he's on the lead lap, still trying to keep on battling, as Brian Cook there in 7th, Abram Ghostin there in 8th. Jordan Crider's back in 9th with Jonathan Hilardo. They're rounding out our top 10, currently still scored in our free pass position as of right now. So still looking for that lucky dog if you're that 3 ride. Unfortunately for Brian Cook, this is what we talked about during that last caution flag, is that he was last down pit side on lap number 36, and he was going to have to probably hit pit road here before the end of the stage. I think a lot of these other drivers, after pitting on lap 65, lap 66 there throughout that last yellow flag, they should be good to go on fuel to the end of this stage. Unfortunately for Brian Cook, this is more than likely going to trap him a couple laps back out there on the speedway. It's Brandon Holder, though. Holder out in front. He's got this top spot. He's feeling A-okay and looking to try to pull away like he was doing there in stage number 1. But that could have, well, it kind of all came undone with the pit strategy and about 4 drivers finishing that stage off in front of him. But with the 31 ride back out in front for a lot of these other drivers, you've seen the speed, you've seen what he's able to do here. Will he be able to do it again, whether there's tire saving, fuel saving, or anything else on the line? I mean, it's always dangerous having Brandon Holder at the point out there on the speedway. And as of right now, he's just hoping that he can run away from all of them, keep him back there in his dust, and try to put himself up and into the second stage win and maybe into victory lane here this evening. It's Holder, Sean Merriman, Wesley Burke now back up into third. Rolling there, trying to work his way around Sean Merriman for second. Grant Wesley has fallen back into position number 4 here as the 3 ride of Jonathan Ilardo. He's got some pretty good speed here, that Clemson Tiger ride, as he's worked his way now up into what would be considered the 4th position, but he's scored a lap down. But this does have him in that lucky dog position. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Gaston here, so he's currently got that free pass locked up. If he can just stay right there, if he can stay right here with our race leaders and potentially get that lucky dog here in just a few more laps, as our second stage of the day is quickly coming to a close here at Dover, as Brandon Holder, Sean Merriman, Wesley Burke, 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway as they head down and across the start finish line. Holder will complete lap number 87. So 87 laps now completed here in this one. Sean Merriman, they're trying to hold on to second, man, but he's got his hands full as Wesley Burke still all over him, trying to find his way around that 18 ride. And now all of a sudden you see the lap down number 3 at Jonathan Ilardo. Maybe Ilardo's just going to race his way right back on the lead lap here. Heck, at the same point in time, Gaston might be there as well, as Gaston has got up to these drivers, and all of a sudden he's right there on Ilardo's back bumper, and Gaston may have a late race move here. The end, our second stage of the day, maybe trying to steal this free pass, the lucky dog, away from that Clemson Tigers number 3 rider, Jonathan Ilardo. As here we go, we see him take a look down to the inside. The Hall Construction Machine. Oh, they make a little contact right there. The 3 ride gets tight, pushes up the racetrack. Ilardo makes contact there with that outside fence. Now, luckily enough, not major damage. Heck of a save there out of that Clemson Tigers ride. He's able to stay in the battle, but he does fall back behind Jonathan Gaston, and that moves Gaston into the lucky dog spot out there on the racetrack. So Jonathan Gaston, if he can catch this caution flag for whether it's the stage break or just another issue out there on the racetrack, could put himself right back on the lead lap, right back into the battle here this evening, and join one of what would be only 9 drivers on the lead lap here at the stage break, as Brandon Holder, Sean Merriman, Wesley Burke, 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway looking for some big stage points here again this evening. Grant Wesley's back there in position. Number 4 came in desperately needing those stage points, and he's got some pretty good ones throughout the first stage. Here in second stage, running pretty solidly. It's exactly what Grant Wesley had kind of lined up for his day at the speedway, and maybe still got time for another one here, as you do see that 72 of Gaston able to race his way right on around Wesley Burke. That opens up the door here for the 88 ride of Grant Wesley to try to get back around Burke for position number 3. Burke able to clear him, though. Down the back straightaway, washes down in front of him right there, kind of arrow blocks him down through corner number 3, but the 88's going to storm back. Seems like maybe Grant Wesley a little bit better car right now than Wesley Burke, and Grant, he knows it, and he wants this 3rd spot. He wants this extra stage point into his back pocket to try to help him back into the picture here of advancing into our second round of the playoffs here in 2026 with the Premium Stock Car Racing League there. 7th season now here with the PSCRL. As Brandon Holder, though, out in front will click off lap number 94. So 94 laps down. here in our first stage. Only 6 laps left to go to see our second stage come to an end this afternoon, and our halfway marker here in this race. So our, 94, almost 95 now across the line out of 100 laps ran here this evening, and we're 5 laps away from handing out some more big stage points. As we look through the field, we look at some of those drivers that were kind of in dire need of those stage points. We look back at our pole sitter, Nathan Brookover. He's on the outside of the top 10 looking in, not in line for any stage points. Same with Brian Underwood. You look back, obviously, at Brengru, who's off the racetrack and out of this race. Jack Fletcher, who unfortunately didn't get a chance to race here tonight because he was stuck at work, unfortunately back in 19th. And, I mean, that's a lot of our playoff drivers that are running into issues. And it brings into the picture frame that, Holder can move a little farther away from that cut line. Maybe Josh Crider can as well. Maybe we see a driver like Grant Wesley get back to that cut line, maybe even leapfrog it as he leapfrogs the 18, Sean Merriman for position number 2 late in the stage. Only a few laps left to go. Can Grant Wesley hold on to that second spot, keep Sean Merriman back there at bay, and try to get second place points here in this second stage of the evening? Now, Brandon Holder's gone. He's back out in front by about 2.5 seconds. So for the 31, Ryan, he's just absolutely shot out of a cannon here. It seems like twice now, both these stages, he's found himself out in front at some point and just pulling away from the rest of the field. And you got to wonder if he can keep that track position throughout the rest of this race, that it may be his to lose. But you do see the 72 car of Jonathan Gaston, who currently sits as the first driver, 1 lap down, looking to get the lucky dog back on the lead lap. He rolls there in 9th. He's actually been hanging with Brandon Holder here. If anything, he's even started to catch him a little bit out there on the racetrack, trying to maybe race his way right back on the lead lap, but he's not going to have to worry too much as the laps are clicking down. And this time, down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4, we will see the green and white checkered flag and our halfway marker go up here this evening from Dover International Speedway as 100 laps in, 100 laps left to go, in our second stage of the day will come to a close. As Brandon Holder wins that second stage, Grant Wesley will come home in second. John Merriman there in third. Wesley Burke back in position number 4 with Josh Crider rounding out our top 5 here for stage points. Looking back at Jeremy Jeffries, Jeremy will come home in position number 6, earning our 6th place in points here for the stage. Abram Ghostin there in 7th. Jordan Kreiner back in 8th. And Jonathan Gaston going to round out our top 9 here for stage points. Danny White scored back in position number 10. Will also earn a stage point. But for all these drivers, obviously, still a lot of cats a lap down or multiple laps down here, as Jonathan Gaston will get the lucky dog. He will get the free pass back on the lead lap. That's a great break there for the 72 ride. Unfortunately for drivers like Danny White, Jonathan Elardo, Brookover, John Sheen, Underwood, still a lap down out there on the racetrack, and still multiple laps down for Brian Cook, Isaiah Adams, Kevin Calkins in the 11 ride. Brenger, who's no longer out there on the racetrack. I believe Calkins also is no longer out there either. But we will see our top 8 drivers all hit pit road here. All lead lap cars, they'll hit pit side this time. So they'll get some service. They'll get their cars worked on and ready to roll back out there. Jonathan Gaston should get the lucky dog and the free pass back on the lead lap right here. And we'll see if any of these other drivers are takers down pit lane. Is Danny White, John Sheen, 78 ride right there, that 4 machine of Isaiah Adams, all going to be looking for either potential wave rounds or making their pit stops here on the second wave of pit stops throughout this yellow flag. But the caution flag gets displayed, and we'll take a quick break here. I'm going to get a quick drink into me as we'll get a quick little listen in here to our anthem here for the Premium Stock Car Racing League.
Engines roar, the night ignites, rubber burns under neon lights, chrome shining, stars align, dreams hit the track, now it's grind time. Wrapped tight, tailpipes glow, pit stop precision, gotta keep that flow. Crowds a jungle, hearts in the choke, lap by lap, adrenaline spoke. Speed kings, chasing that checkered crown. Under the moon, we don't slow down. Saturday nights, we ride, we fly. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels. Heat from the asphalt, raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds. Grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal. Victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms. The checkered flag, it seals the room.
Alrighty, as here we go, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as we'll ride on board here quickly with the 5 ride of Mr. Josh Crider. Is Crider ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here in this one as the beautiful number 5 ride. Gonna restart here in that 5th position. We'll wait and see what Crider's got in store for us. If he can try to work his way up and into the top spot here throughout this final stage of the day. He'll get ready for a big restart. Could be crazy, could be wild. We'll wait and see what he's got in store for us. As here we go. Green flag back out into the air for the 5 ride of Josh Crider. Get a good look in at this 5 ride and Crider himself as he goes through the gears right there. Unfortunately, kind of a little bit of a couple misshifts there. Doesn't quite stick with that top 3 or 4 drivers as there's a bit of a gap there between them, but you'll have to try to mount up that challenge, mount up that distance, and reel them back in as you see the 88 and the 18 battle door to door for the race lead. Looks like Grant Wesley will lead lap 105 here this evening as we start lap 106. We inch closer and closer to our checkered flag here this evening. And obviously for a lot of these drivers, they're hoping that they can try to battle their way back into this race. And for a lot of these guys, man, it's not going to be easy. As we do see Danny White having to come down pit road right here. Danny hits pit lane. I'm not sure if he already had a black flag pitting there throughout the free pass lap. Nonetheless, he does hit pit road with a black flag nonetheless, so that's going to keep him down pit side here for a little while longer. That's going to put him multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. That's going to put him into a really, really tough position here in this race. As Grant Wesley, though, out in front as the top spot here. Sean Merriman's there in second. Wesley Burke in third. Jeremy Jeffries there in position number 4 with Josh Crider rounding out our top 5. Abram Ghostin there in 6th with Jonathan Gaston back in 7th. Brandon Holder scored there in 8th, and then we do see John Sheen in position number 9. Jordan Crider rounds out our top 10 here. Last driver on the lead lap as Nathan Brookover scored a lap down here. Brookover still a lap down. Unfortunately, he's going to need another caution flag here quickly to try to get him back on the lead lap, try to get that free pass in. You'll have to try to stay in front of Brian Underwood if he wants that free pass position, as Underwood and Brookover both 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. Jonathan Ilardo also a lap down, so isn't Brian Cook. Actually, I believe Cook... Yeah, Cook is still only 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, but he did take the wave around right there. So again, this is going to put him, Isaiah Adams, and I do believe John Sheen all into really, really interesting positions, because for Isaiah Adams, he was last down pit road on lap number 64. If you're the number 55 of John Sheen, you were last down pit sign on lap number 66. So as we start to see more laps get clicked down here out of the green flag conditions, it's going to move John Sheen and Isaiah Adams in line to probably have to try to make green flag pit stops here way before everybody else. This could really set them back a lot more late in this race. And for Brian Cook, he's in that same boat. He was last down pit side there during the green flag conditions back on lap number 81, and without a caution flag to try to help him out a little bit right here, Brian Cook could potentially have to come back down pit side as well with unfortunately, during the green flag conditions. Now you do see the 55 ride and Isaiah Adams. Adams already down pit sign here. So unfortunately, those guys in their gamble, it just did not work out too well for them. And for the 55, goes sliding into pit lane right here. Hopefully does not catch a black flag right there for too fast entering pit road. Looks like for now, iRacing scoring it as he was down to pit road speed, so that's a great break there for John Sheehan, but unfortunately still having to make these green flag pit stops. You're going to lose probably 2 laps out there on the racetrack, man, and that's going to put you into a bigger hole than what it was just taking that pit stop during the caution flag and just hoping for lucky dogs or anything else here, as it's going to set you back even more. You may have gained a lap, but you're now going to lose 2 laps by making that strategy call there throughout that caution flag and the stage break. Is Grant Wesley, though. Grant Wesley out in front, leading the charge here, man. Ever since Fletcher came in here and said that he was going to cheer on Grant Wesley here and think that Wesley's going to win it, man, he's kind of turned up the wick, pushed his way to the front of the pack, and for that 88 ride, he's looking and hoping to try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening as Grant Wesley, John Merriman, Wesley Burke, our top 3 out there on the speedway. Jeremy Jeffries back there in position number 4, looking for more with Josh Crider there rounding out our top 5. Abram Ghostin, Brandon Holder, Jonathan Gastons there in 8th, and we do see Jordan Crider and Nathan Brookover rounding out our top 10. And for Brookover, still hanging on to that free pass position, still in the lucky dog spot out there on the racetrack, still trying to hold off Brian Underwood. Underwood right there in 11th here, still a lap down himself. And same with that 3 rider, Jonathan Elardo. These 3 rolling back here in 10th, 11th, and 12th, all battling for that free pass position, man. It's going to be a tight fight all the way down here to the checkered flag, I think, for these guys. Release until our next caution flag. Brian Cook also back there as well in 13th. Now for Cook, he is going to be down pit road roughly about 20 laps prior than the rest of the field here, but I feel like he's at the hit somewhere around lap number 40. I mean, there were a few caution laps in there, so it'll be interesting to see where the 78 ride does have to finally come down pit road and make another green flag pit stop here this evening, as the 78 probably can go roughly about another 10 laps or so before I feel like he's probably going to have to desperately hit pit lane here himself. But out in front, it's all Grant Wesley as Grant Wesley continues to lead the charge. Nice and easy back down across the line. Pick off another one here, that Menards iRacing number 88 Ford Mustang, as Merriman Burke trying to track him back down, trying to reel him in here late in this race as we inch closer and closer to that checkered flag and closer to more green flag pit stops for some drivers, and obviously more chaos for others here this afternoon as down across the line. They click off lap 120, so 120 laps completed. 80 laps left to go here in this one, as we'll jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, what we want you guys to do right now is crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here this evening here on Peacemaker Gaming. beautiful crank it up session here from the beautiful Dover International Speedway is out in front, leading the charge. Now, it is the 18 ride of Sean Merriman. Merriman out in front of the field, leading this race, has the 18 ride out in front, and you can hear throughout that crank it up, a lot of these drivers we saw going down pit road, making green flag pit stops here, but for a lot of these other drivers, man, they are in fuel conservation mode, trying to make it here roughly to about lap 150, maybe a little bit beyond lap 150 here, trying to set themselves up for only a one-stop final stage here this evening. If they can make it to lap 150-ish, somewhere in that area, and they know they're good on fuel to come down pit road, make it to the end of this race without having to make another green flag pit stop, it could put them into a really, really solid position out there on the racetrack. When we look back here at drivers that had already come down pit side here, when we look at drivers that were, leading the charge here at Grant Wesley, pitting there on lap 133, it looks like he's made his bet. He's going to have to pit at least one more time and make this final stage a two-stop race for this number 88 ride. I believe you're going to see the same for Josh Crider and Brandon Holder, Jeremy Jeffries, Abram Ghostin, who are all down pit road there, roughly around lap number 133, 135, and a couple there towards lap 139. But you start to see a lot of these guys that are going to be kind of rolling the different strategy calls here. We got kind of 5 drivers that are on the, older tires and old strategy, trying to stretch that fuel out. Other drivers that are just on the throttle, pushing as hard as possible, trying to use the fresh tires and that extra fuel to their advantage to try to gain as much time as possible here, that they can leapfrog these other drivers, put them into a good position. Now we do see Brookover, he's hitting pit road here in that 7 ride, so he's got to hit pit lane. And now, if you do make this pit stop, you want to see it cycle through. You need to see it cycle through. You do not want to see a caution flag here in the next couple laps, as our drivers that are out in front inch towards potentially seeing the end of the stage. So we do see Jonathan Gaston having to come down pit road, and Gaston makes a huge mistake on pit road entry. And for one of our playoff drivers, the big mistake for him, just gets in there too hot, slides in there, does not get checked up in time, gets in there sideways, locked up, and going a little too fast, earns himself a black flag. Too fast entering pit road there for the Bourbon Hills Barbecue Hall Drilling number 72 ride. That is going to give him a black flag. He'll be stuck down pit road for an additional 30 seconds here throughout this pit stop, and unfortunately that is going to cost him probably a lap out there on the speedway, maybe even 2. As now here comes Sean Merriman, our race leader. He hits pit road here, virtually completing lap 150. Looks like Jonathan Elardo also down pit side. Looks like he's going to complete lap 150 as well. These guys creeping in there, but we do see Wesley Burke. Burke was one of those drivers that was able to stretch the fuel out throughout that first run quite a ways here. Has he been able to do the exact same thing throughout this run? Has he been able to kind of stretch that fuel out, give himself a bit of an edge, a little bit of an advantage here throughout this race? So we do see Grant Wesley has already worked his way back around Wesley Burke to put himself back on the lead lap and up into that 3rd position, but Wesley Burke and Jordan Crider both get to hit pit road. Now here comes Jordan Crider. He'll hit pit lane for Burke. He's staying out. We'll see if he comes down pit side this time. He jumps down to the inside, but he's clutching it, and it doesn't look like he's hitting pit road. So he is going to stay out a little bit longer here. Obviously, he's going to give up a little bit more here to Grant Wesley and Josh Crider, Brandon Holder, a lot of these drivers that were making those earlier green flag pit stops. But now that he's ran virtually 52 laps here, it's been 50 laps since we were back green flag racing. He was down pit road on lap 102, so he's virtually able to make it here a full 50 laps. And as he rolls back in onto the racetrack, he's only going to have to run 47, so whatever he was saving, he'll have 3 extra laps of fuel in his pocket here by the checker flag if things stay clean and green. Is our best green flag run of the day here. 50 laps now, 51 down across the line as Burke will click him off here. Wesley Grant Wesley, though, will jump out in front. He'll reconsume the race lead down the front straightaway. So Grant Wesley back to the point here. Josh Crider will be in position number 2 with Brandon Holder there in third, but Holder all over the back bumper here of Josh Crider for what could be that second position. Abram Ghostin comes out in third. Jeremy Jeffries there in fifth now, and then Sean Merriman, Wesley Burke, who's rolling back out on the racetrack here. He should line in somewhere around the 7th position. I do believe John Sheen, who's kind of on a different pit cycle, different pit strategy here. Sheen is going to be back in position number 8 here. Now, he is a lap down out on the racetrack, and the first driver 1 lap down. Jordan Crider also a lap down here today. Same with Underwood now. Elardo, Brookover, Jonathan Gaston, after making that pit road mistake, finds himself a lap down. Scored back in 13th here on the Speedway. Actually, multiple laps down here for Jonathan Gaston. Same with Brian Cook, Isaiah Adams, Danny White, who I do believe has taken his car off the racetrack and out of this race. And now we do see the 4 ride of Isaiah Adams having to hit pit lane. So Isaiah Adams down pit road. He'll make his pit stop here as well. Now we do see John Sheen also come back down pit side here. I'm actually quite surprised we didn't see these two go a little bit farther, at least for John Sheen. I mean, he's only going to have 45 laps to the checkered flag. For Isaiah Adams, if he's somehow able to get back on lead lap here, I mean, he's going to be still 47 laps away from seeing the checkered flag, so we'll have to go a little bit farther. May have to save a little bit of fuel later in this race, but we'll have to wait and see as he has multiple laps down, so it may not be that much fuel he'll have to save out there on the Speedway. But for Grant Wesley, out in front here, and you can already start to hear a few of these drivers already starting to shut their cars off, already starting to try to get into that fuel-saving mode, knowing that that could be the make or break your day just on fuel mileage here in this one, as Wesley Burke, who rolls back in position number 7 right now. Burke is the last driver on the lead lap, and he's about 20 seconds back behind Grant Wesley. So it's all about your prerogative when you come down pit road, when these guys make their pit stops. Are they going to be able to make up that time to reel their way back around Burke and back out in front of the field and able to run away with this race? Or will one of the drivers that are making the strategy calls here, trying to make it on fuel, will work in their advantage and put them into a really, really good spot? There's a huge window here where you can see Wesley, Holder, Crider, a lot of these guys that were down pit road back on lap 133, lap 139, that, they ran virtually, 10 laps, 12 laps, 13 laps longer than what, or sooner and less than what Burke ran and some of our other front runners there at their pit stops. And I mean, that's a lot of time, man. It's a lot of laps there. Even when you start seeing 10, 12 laps between your pit stop and your other fellow competitors' pit stops, it is enough that you could get trapped a lap down or even multiple laps down and lose a lot of track position, lose the freshness of your tires and any kind of a run or advantage you may have out there on the racetrack. So a short pit, man, sometimes it'll work out if it stays clean and green, but if that caution flag does fly here at a racetrack like Dover, man, it could take you out of the action in a quick hurry. As we do see Brian Cook headed back down pit road. He'll make his potential final stop of the day. Is that 78 right? Will hit pit lane. But for Grant Wesley out in front, Grant's got the top spot here. He's hoping that things will cycle around. He's hoping that, drivers like Wesley Burke and some of these other cats that are trying to stretch that fuel out, one, either have to save too much where he's going to be able to chase them down no matter what and put himself into the winner's circle, or just hoping that maybe, just maybe, they'll also have to make late race pit stops here and will still put him into a good position later on here this afternoon. But for right now, Grant Wesley, he leads the charge here. He's got a good lead here as well. So if you really want to start saving a little bit of fuel, trying to stretch out his fuel a little farther as well, I mean, for Grant, right now he's got 5 seconds between himself and Brandon Holder. Holder's trying to reel him in. Josh Crider's back there in third with Abram Ghostin in position number 4. Sean Merriman there rounding out our top 5 as Wesley Burke, Jeremy Jeffries our top 7. Jordan Crider's back there in 8th. He's now the first driver a lap down, but we will see the 1 ride also go a lap down as he hits pit road here. So Jeremy Jeffries hitting pit lane. He knows he's good on fuel from this point. He's hoping that he can use the fresh tires to his advantage, maybe able to put him into a good spot here in the closing laps through green flag pit strategy here this evening, as our boy Fletcher in the chat says, come on, Grant, come on. I mean, Grant's looking good. He's in a great spot, but now has to bring it on down pit side. For that Menards iRacing 88, exactly what he needed to do right there. Had to make sure he got checked up. Did not want to get a pit road speeding penalty and really affect his race or take himself out of this race. So you see Brandon Holder down pit side with him. Both cats able to hit pit lane, no penalties here, so they are clean to go there as Josh Crider will consume the race lead. So Crider out in front. Josh now has that top spot, and he'll look to try to run some laps right here. Actually, now it looks like he's going to come down pit road the next lap, so he hits pit lane himself. Firstly, for these guys, kind of just ran 33 lap runs right there, and they kind of set themselves up for another, 33, 34 lap run to close out this race. And obviously, it's going to give them a lot of time with fresh tires to make up some ground, to try to jump in front of some other drivers, trying to put themselves back into the battle here, whether or not there's a caution flag or not. But what the big thing will be is going to be tires and how far back this will set them, and if they do go a lap or multiple laps down here, where will that put them as they roll back out onto the racetrack? So you see Josh Crider, quick pit stop right there for Josh, so you gotta wonder if maybe he took fuel only right there, but I don't know. He still comes out of the pits there in behind Grant Wesley. Grant still just in front of him here. I have to keep an eye on where Brandon Holder comes out right here. There's Holder. There's the 5 ride at Crider. Looks like Holder will stay just in front of that 5 ride. But for Abram Ghostin, here comes Ghostin down pit road. He's making his potential final stop of this race. You do see Sean Merriman, though, out in front, continue to now lead the charge here. So he's now out in front. He's got this top spot. He made it to about lap 150. Now, that was only about a 48, 47 lap run right there throughout that first half of this final stage of the day. So, I mean, he's going to have to probably try to stretch his fuel out a little bit farther to get to lap number 200. So if you're the 18 ride, you got to save that extra little bit of fuel. Can't put you into a really, really tough position out there on the racetrack, as he does have Wesley Burke not too far there off of him. And for Burke, I mean, he's just been able to save so well here this evening. It's going to be tough for anyone to beat the 09 ride. It's going to have to come down to just having that pure speed and just being able to keep your foot in the throttle and trying to reel these guys in here late in this race to try to put yourself up and into the winner's circle here this evening. Because I think the fuel may work out really nicely here for Wesley Burke, maybe for Jordan Crider. I think it'll get really tight there for Sean Merriman. He's going to have to save a lot here, I think, in this later half. And I believe he's going to have to save enough that he may have to give up the race lead and potentially the race win to that 09 ride of Wesley Burke, as Burke down to his inside, looking to make the move around him here. This is a battle for the race lead and what could be potentially a battle for the race win here this evening. Jordan Crider back in position number 3 right now. In pretty right now, but he could potentially see some of these drivers start to reel him in rather quickly here in this race. As Brian Underwood back in 4th, he is a lap down. He's back there in that 4th position, but he's just trying to keep himself in a good spot here, and I believe as of right now he is in the lucky dog position. So a timely caution flag. He could end up being our 4th driver on the lead lap, but we do see Grant Wesley not too far away from him, trying to reel him in. There's Jonathan Elardo. Brandon Holder back there in 7th. Josh Crider in 8th as of right now. Broke over there in 9th with Abram Ghostin. Jeremy Jeffries, Jonathan Gaston back in 12th. John Sheen scored in 13th with Brian Cook, Isaiah Adams, Danny White, Kevin Calkins, Melvin Brengerer, and Jack Fletcher rounding out our field, as we do see Brian Underwood now hit pit lane himself, and Underwood gets a black flag down pit side. Big mistake into the 6th ride. I believe that's the 2nd black flag here this evening for Brian Underwood. And unfortunately, that's going to send him back even farther in this field. And that is going to really hurt his run, his chances of a good day here this evening. And that could definitely put him kind of a little bit closer to that cut line, a little bit more into the hot seat here, going into our first elimination race of the season next Saturday night, man. That could definitely put him into the hot seat, so you got to be really, really careful with that. As I mean, going to Daytona, man, you can never count on Daytona to be good for you. You just never know how that's going to play out. Be in the wrong place at the wrong time for a couple big wrecks, and your night could be done there at Daytona. So, I mean, you just got to be really, really lucky there to survive and put yourself into a good point standing after a race at Daytona International Speedway next Saturday. Is going to be a ton of fun. These guys are going to put on a hell of a show for us, but here tonight, they're putting on a great show for us here at Dover. As down across the line, Wesley Burke clicks off lap 178. We only get 22 more laps left to go. 22 more laps left for Burke, Merriman, Jordan Crider to try to find their way up and into victory lane here this evening. Grant Wesley has raced his way back up into position number 4 here on the Speedway. And for Grant, he's not too far away from racing his way back onto the lead lap right here, as he's got Sean Merriman. He's got that 09 ride of Wesley Burke just there in front of him. But unfortunately for the 88 ride, I mean, he's not gaining enough time here to quite literally be able to be in the picture here late in this race, as he's reeling in to Wesley Burke's back bumper. He should be able to make this pass without a problem to jump in front of the 09, put himself back on the lead lap. But for Wesley Burke, man, he's just out in front, man. He's hitting his marks. He's only got 20 laps left to go. I feel like he's A-okay, as we did see Nathan Brookover run into issues. Oh no, heartbreaker here for Brookover. Let's take a look at it and see what happens, as down the back straightaway. Not sure what happens right here. Looks like he goes to hit pit road and kind of just gets in too hot. Yep, there it is. Huge mistake out of Brookover. Just a little too hot and horny out there on the Speedway. And unfortunately for the Fireball number 7 ride, gets in there too hard, too far, ends up into the sand barriers there on the pit entry wall, and unfortunately heavy damage there for him. No caution flag. It stays clean and green, but unfortunately he'll have to tow that thing down pit side. And we do see Underwood still down there as well. Looks like he's not rolling back out onto the Speedway, so he had gotten that black flag back on lap number 174, and it looks like he just called it a day there at that point. Has not jumped back out onto the racing surface to try to salvage what he can out of the evening. But for Wesley Burke, man, Wesley Burke out in front. You do see Grant Wesley able to race his way back on the lead lap, but he finds himself here, I do believe, 23 seconds behind Burke here, which is virtually almost an entire track length here, and with only, 17 laps left to go. I mean, Grant's going to need a miracle, man. He's going to have to pass a lot of race cars. He's going to have to make up a lot of ground to be able to track down this 09 ride and race and battle his way back out in front and back in to a battle here for the race win this afternoon. I just don't see if Grant Wesley's going to be able to get there. As long as Wesley Burke, Sean Merriman, Jordan Crider, if they can make it on fuel here, they should be sitting pretty now for, honestly, Jordan Crider here. He's a little bit slower at it. He's about to lose that 3rd position nonetheless to Grant Wesley. So move Grant up and into that 3rd position here in just a few more moments, as the 33 is going to be on fuel savings mode and just trying to hit his marks and not make any mistakes. And that's where you'll see the 88 right at Grant Wesley make quick work of him, jump back up into that 3rd position, hoping that he has enough time to reel in Sean Merriman and Wesley Burke, but he is running out of time here on the Speedway. Is out in front, all Wesley Burke, as you do see some tight racing back there, as Brandon Holder trying to work his way around the number 78 ride there of Cook, and they almost had a little contact down at corner number 4. Luckily enough, they both catch it, keep him pointing in the right direction. But for Brandon Holder, obviously his goal right now is to try to track down and reel down this number 88 right at Grant Wesley. And obviously right now, I mean, it's tough for him to try to hunt him down, as that will be the battle for what could be the race win if Burke and Merriman both have to pit here late in this race, as Jordan Crider already behind Grant Wesley. Interesting to see if he's going to be able to make it there. Same with Sean Merriman. I think both those two drivers, Jordan Crider and Sean Merriman, are going to be kind of like right at that cut line, right at that fuel line here late in this race and in our closing laps here. I'm sure they're clicking off the numbers, trying to figure out exactly how much they need to save, where they need to save it, and how they may be able to implement it to just keep themselves in a good, solid finish here this evening. Not really give them a chance at maybe per se winning this race, but just being in a good spot here to finish off the race, get a podium, get a top 5 run here. If you're Jordan Crider, Sean Merriman, that's all you're looking for here out of this race. But for Wesley Burke, man, he's in a golden opportunity, a golden position to try to win this thing as Burke, Merriman, Wesley, 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway. Jordan Crider's back in 5th with Brandon Holder there in, I believe, the 6th position. Actually, no, Brandon Holder is in 5th. Jordan Crider's there in 4th. Then we see Josh Crider back in 6th. And then we see Jonathan Ilardo, Abram Ghostin, Jeremy Jeffries, Jonathan Gaston, John Sheen, as I do believe we did just see Jeremy Jeffries come down pit lane right there on lap 164. Jeffries that was just down pit road? No, it's Jordan Crider that I was thinking of. Jordan Crider was still there in that 4th position. I keep thinking that he's down pit side, but he hasn't yet, as Fletcher says, no way that just happened. Wait, brother, wait. You see it happen multiple times. Not here tonight, but in so many other leagues, the drivers run into those sand barriers, as Fletcher says. Can Burke make it? I think Burke, out of the 3 drivers that are trying to stretch the fuel, he's definitely got the best shot. He was last down pit road on lap 153. I believe he virtually ran 50 full laps of green flag racing there. And, I mean, he'd only have to make it 47, so if he can save the same amount of fuel that he did throughout that first run of this final stage, then he should be good to go here. I think for Sean Merriman, it gets a whole lot tighter for the 18 ride, and it gets a lot tighter there as well for the 33 of Jordan Crider. Jordan is going to lose another spot as there goes Brandon Holder around him. Holder will pick up that 4th position, but for Wesley Burke, man, he's out in front. He's still holding on to the race lead. The gap between him and Grant Wesley is about 19.5 seconds. So I think for Wesley Burke, I mean, obviously you can see that Wesley is running out of time. He's only got 6 laps left to go. There's no way he's catching Wesley Burke here unless Burke runs out of fuel. For Sean Merriman here, he's still got a good gap between himself and Grant Wesley and Brandon Holder, Jordan Crider, the rest of those guys back there behind him. Unfortunately, he's still about a second back of Wesley Burke, and unfortunately still kind of in, fuel-saving mode himself here. So he can't really push too hard to try to track down this number 09 ride to try to put himself into a position to battle for this race win. As Fletcher says, the 18 is coming. The 18, he's coming, but I think he may be running out of fuel here. I mean, unless if he was able to save a whole lot more and he's got the clean to go, he's good to go, and he's just got the hammer down at this point. But you got to wonder if he's good to go, that Burke may be also good to go here. That he may be able to put the hammer down as well once the 18 ride catches him and just pull away and just leave him back there in the dust late in this race. With only 4 laps left to go, man, it is definitely coming down to the wire for what will be an exciting finish, man, and a great day of racing action here this evening. But Burke, Merriman, Grant Wesley, our top 3 holders there in 4th, with Jordan Crider, Josh Crider rounding out our top 6. Jonathan Ilardo's back there in 7th. Abram Ghostin's in 8th, but battling with Ilardo for that 7th and 8th spot. Jeremy Jeffries back in 9th. Jonathan Gaston there rounding out our top 10. John Sheen, Brian Cook, Isaiah Adams, our top 13, as Nathan Brookover, Brian Underwood, Danny White, Kevin Hawkins, and Melvin Brenger round out our top 18 here this evening. But it's all Wesley Burke. Is Burke now pulling away from Sean Merriman here in the closing laps? So, brother, it is a lap and a half left to go here in this one, as Wesley Burke, nice and easy, down and out of corner number 4. He will see the white flag fly one more time here this evening. From the Monster Mile, Dover International Speedway, Wesley Burke down and out of corner number 2 will take us down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening, and looking to conquer the concrete and tame Miles the Monster here this evening, it's Wesley Burke who will pick up the dub here in this one. Burke gets it done and pulls himself up and into victory lane here this evening. Sean Merriman will come home in second. Grant Wesley will round out our top three here this evening, as there's the number 88 down across the line. Here comes Brandon Holder there in fourth, and Jordan Crider rounding out our top five here this evening. But nobody beating the Blue Bulls ride as the 09 of Wesley Burke finds his way up and into victory lane here this evening. He'll get ready to burn down the house and get ready to celebrate a big dub here this evening, as Fletcher says, GG's, well played. Good win right there. Good win, great race, man. Some great action here this evening from Dover, man. Always so much fun coming to Dover, man. These guys put together a great show, great race for us, and another amazing night of racing action here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League, as that will put our second playoff race into the history books. And for Wesley Burke, I mean, he's sitting pretty in the point standings, and he's going to be confident and ready to rock and roll for next week, but also heading into our second round of the playoffs for Sean Merriman. I mean, good points day for him. Grant Wesley really needed those points. So didn't Brandon Holder. Josh Kreiner getting some pretty decent points here. Jonathan Elardo, actually, I believe he's not in it. Same with Jeffries, but Jonathan Gaston needed those points. He was able to gain quite a bit over some of these other drivers. Unfortunately for drivers like Brookover, Underwood, Danny White, Melvin Brengruer, Jack Fletcher, obviously not running this race, but loaded in here, all there towards the back of the pack and not getting the finishes that they probably deserved or wanted here this evening. But nonetheless, we'll get them all up here into the booth for some post-race interviews, man. Post-race interviews coming up next, as we'll pull our race winner and the rest of our top three up here into the Peacemaker Gaming broadcast booth. Hey, Wesley, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Wesley, man, what a run, what a race for you here this evening, brother, as you're able to pull this Blue Bull 09 right up and into the Dover Motor Speedway victory lane, man. Take us back through this one. What's going through your mind as you're able to capture the victory here this evening on a solid run, a solid performance, but obviously a fuel strategy call here throughout this race, throughout the stages, throughout this final run, and it works out perfectly in your favor as you're able to capture this win without really a ton of pressure there to your back bumper. I mean, Merriman was right there, but never got close enough late in this race to try to challenge you again here for the race win.
Yeah, I did it in stage one. I almost ran out of gas. You probably saw it. I was slowing down a lot those last two laps. And I ran out of gas on pit road. Like, I was on zero from the exit of two, which is why I passed the pace car and stuff, because I couldn't slow down or I would have ran out of gas and not be able to make it back. So I sputtered into my pit box. Then I kind of just let everyone go in stage two, and there was no point in fighting too hard. And yeah, in stage three, I figured more people would try to save because they saw me save in stage one, and it trapped almost the entire field lap down. So I'm kind of surprised so many people went for the two stop and not trying to save the fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a bit of a gamble there, but I felt like it was more of a gamble, coming down pit road that much earlier. Even if there was a late race caution flag, let's say back on, 10 laps to go or something like that, you would have had fresh tires, you would have been able to get fuel. There would have only been, 3 or 4 cars on the lead lap, and you would have had, virtually the best tires between, obviously yourself, Merriman, and Jordan Crider would have been in that boat with really good tires. But for Holder, Wesley, anyone else that may have been able to take a wave around, they would have been so far behind the 8 ball with, 20, 25 lap old tires and kind of back in track position still as well, and not having virtually any track position or better tires. I mean, you guys were kind of just in that catbird seat there, whether or not there was a late race yellow or if it stayed clean and green like it did. And obviously you just needed to make sure that you saved enough there to get to the checkered flag, and obviously had enough. You do a little bit of a burnout, you're able to pull this thing up and into victory lane. I mean, how tight was fuel there in that final run?
I mean, I'm out of fuel right now. I mean, um, I was able to save 2 laps of fuel there. I mean, I could have saved more, but Merriman started to catch a little bit, so I had to stop saving as much there at the end. I was saving the whole run. Even when I knew I was good, I was just saving, just in case I needed to push. And then at the end, those last few laps, I was just saving so I do a burnout. I mean, yeah, he was catching, but he started falling back, and then like he caught, so I started not saving as much, and then he fell off, so I just started saving more. And man, it's 2 wins in a row, both on strategy. So last time was tire strategy because Brian and a few others pit during one of the stages for tires and didn't have any for the final pit stop, so kind of gifted me that one. And this one, just I don't know, wasn't the best car. Holder kind of messed up his shot by speeding on pit road, so he probably was pushing real hard to get back up here, expecting a caution, and just never got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Grant Wesley was right there as well. He looked really strong here this evening. Thought he was going to have a chance at capturing the victory here today, but it's all down to that fuel strategy, and you're able to hit the strategy perfectly again here this evening as you park that 09 ride right back up into victory lane, trying to give yourself obviously a lot of extra bonus points and everything else going into the second round of our playoffs as you still get to head into Daytona with a little chip on your shoulder, a little bit of momentum, and you also don't have to stress about points or anything else. You just got to go in there, have some fun, and get locked and loaded for our second round of these playoffs. Man, that's got to feel like a world off your shoulders here going into Daytona, not having to worry about points.
Oh yeah, definitely. Although there's a chance I might not be able to make it next week, so we'll see.
Alrighty,
Hopefully I've created enough points buffer.
Yeah, hopefully a big enough points buffer that is not the case, as we love to see you out there and battling again next Saturday night. But Wesley, man, heck of a run, heck of a drawing for you here in this one as you park yourself up and into the Dover Motor Speedway victory lane, man. Take us back and obviously take us through it and who you want to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the speed.
I'd love to thank my team for iRacing setups. They have some amazing setups, whether you're into dirt oval or oval. They have probably the best setups there is out there. Short tracks, intermediates, NASCAR road courses, like high banks of like Lernerville to Knoxville. Great setups. Check them out at prs.com. And I'd love to thank you for putting these on.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure. No better place to be on a Saturday night than up here in the broadcast booth and watching you guys duke it out there on the Speedway. Wesley, congrats on the dub here. Back-to-back wins in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. And as you said, potentially not here next Saturday night, but hopefully we see you get loaded in, or maybe giving one of these guys your password, have them load you in, and at least try to get the points of just showing up here to the race and not actually running any laps or anything. But definitely don't want to see you miss out on the second round of the playoffs due to, obviously the holiday and everything, with next Saturday and next weekend being your guys' Memorial weekend. But anyways, Wesley, great run, great race, brother. We'll see you hopefully back out there again next Saturday. If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the start of round number 2 here in our playoffs.
I'll see you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Wesley Burke, as Burke picks up the dub and pulls that 09 up and into victory lane here this evening, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 18 of Sean Merriman. Hey, Sean, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. There to copy.
Yes, sir, I got you.
Sean, man, great run, great race for yourself here tonight, man. Take us back through this one. It's obviously a lot of pit strategy going into this one. Obviously, a lot of fuel savings and just trying to be there in the right place at the right time. And it seemed like it was working out well for you. And even late in this race, man, you were closing into that 09 right of Wesley Burke. It seemed like you had enough fuel to kind of push there for the last few laps. And unfortunately, Burke also had a little bit more left of the tank, and he was able to just power away from you there in those closing laps to lock in the win. But you're able to pick up a very solid second place run, some good stage points for you as well along the way, and you get some very solid points here in our second playoff race this season, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, Dover's probably a top 2-3 track for me. Like I was telling Grant in the waiting room, like if I would have not finishing on the podium, I would have been disappointed with that. Like it's a really good track for me, but is fuel strategy. It was, I mean, the name of the game. I think I got track position in the first stage because it bounced off the wall and qualified and had to start in the back. Got track position in the first stage when I pitted on those first couple cautions. And a lot of people stayed out and then had to come in later. And that flipped the race on its head from the beginning. And then getting to stage 3, I didn't save right off the bat like I probably should have because from, I don't know, lap 115, 120 on, I was just riding the clutch on both ends of the track. Like I couldn't race at that point. I was just riding, trying to make it to the end. I committed to that one stop. And kind of once you commit either one stop or two stop, there's no going back on that. So that was my best bet to potentially win or at least stay up front there. And yeah, I think I was talking to Wesley. He said he had 2 laps left of fuel. I ran out at the line. So I did try to make a run there with about 5 laps to go, but I was watching my fuel and I was going to run myself out. So I had to go back to jumping on the clutch again to just survive. But it is what it is. It was fun. Like I said, I mean, I would have been disappointed not finishing top 3. So second fits that perfectly. I should put myself in good points position to move on here in the playoffs after next week. So don't have to worry about getting wiped out at Daytona, which is 50-50 chance. Probably better than 50-50 chance of that happening. So shouldn't have to worry about that. So all in all, good night.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what you came in here, set the goal to do is, pick up that top 3 performance and give yourself that bit of a cushion there going into Daytona to be safe and to be, on the good side of that cut line. If you would have had a bad night here, obviously it would have brought you a lot closer, even below that cut line, and then obviously would have been disappointed with you. So it could have been a huge loss of momentum going into our, first elimination race this season. So you had to come in here, you had to do well, and you're able to, make it mission accomplished here in this one as you park the 18 up in position number 2. You get those solid points. You give yourself that cushion, and now you head into Daytona, which, as you said, I mean, it's a wild card race. You just never quite know how it'll play out, but you should be safe. I mean, knock on wood, you should be good going into Daytona, and even if you do get tied up in some wrecks there, that you should be able to advance and continue on your hunt here for the Season 7 championship. But Sean, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here in this one, brother. Who would you like to thank for such a great performance out there on the Speedway and capturing tonight's second place finish?
Well, I got to thank Brian and Josh with PSCRL for running a great league, solid league. Something to look forward to on Saturday night when I'm getting older with the kids. So it's not like I can go out and run around. So it gives me something to do on Saturday night. My wife, kid, parents, brother, sister, nieces. Do want to give a shout out to my dad. Yesterday was his birthday. They also have an anniversary coming up next Saturday. So both my parents, so shout them out. They're on 39 years next week, I think. So appreciate them and something for me to strive for with my wife and my relationship. But yeah, and of course you with the broadcast, talking to my goofy butt after a boring race, but appreciate you and everything you do.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure. Always a good time watching you guys get duke it out there on the racetrack here on these wonderful Saturday nights. Sean, congrats on the second place run. Congrats on the great points day, brother. And we'll see you back out there again next Saturday. Hopefully not getting tore up and destroyed there at Daytona, but maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, well, looking at standings they got posted, I think I got a 52-point cushion on 8th, so that's pretty. I don't think we get enough cars in the field really for me to lose 52 points on everybody, so should be all right. But go out there and try and hopefully survive.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to it and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Sean Merriman. Merriman with a great run and shimmy 3 times in the comment section says Fletcher, Grant, Wesley are tied at the cutoff line, as well as Nathan Brookover. So Brookover, Fletcher, and Wesley all going to be tied there at that cut line. That is going to be absolutely wild here. Let's take a look here at these point standings. Oh, we went a little too far there. Oh, a little too far the other way. All right, there we go. Let's play it back the way it's supposed to go. Where are we at here? Texas. There, is that right? Let me see if we can refresh this. Here we go. Is that correct? I believe that is correct. So yeah, looking at the point standings, yeah, I mean Brookover, Fletcher, Grant, Wesley. Oh man, that cut line is tight, chat. That cut line is gonna be really, really tight. I mean, Gaston is about 13 points ahead of it. Same with Jonathan Ilardo. Josh Crider's quite a bit ahead there. He should be all right for Josh Crider, a field holder. Underwood, Merriman, yeah, Burke definitely should be good there on points. I believe. I mean, it's really going to be down to. I feel like Brookover, Fletcher, and Wesley. Even throw Brangruer in there. I mean, really for that final position to move forward here into the second round of these playoffs. I mean, between the 4 of them, there's only 4 points. And if you go from Brookover, Fletcher, and Wesley, it's only 1 point separating those 3, man. That is absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And I mean, Gaston, Ilardo, I mean, it's Daytona. They could be on the hot seat in a quick hurry, especially with stage points. I mean, even Josh Crider could be there in the hot seat as well as Holder. I mean, no one's really safe until that checkered flag is thrown and you're able to keep yourself in the action and in that battle. So we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher here tonight, Grant Wesley, as Wesley comes home in third. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Aaron.
Grant, man, good run, good race for yourself here tonight, man. Good solid stage points. Obviously leading some good laps here today, and coming down to the end of this one, man, it's all about that fuel strategy. And obviously for yourself and majority of this field, you go on that 2-stop final stint here. And unfortunately for you guys, Burke, Merriman, and for some, Jordan Crider all stay out there, go for the 1-stop final stage there, and it works out perfectly for them as they're obviously able to hold you guys off as Burke and Merriman finish in front of you. You have to settle in for third as you tried to chase them down, just ran out of time and unfortunately could not catch up to them there in the closing laps, but it was a good enough effort to jump you up into 10th here in the point standings, and currently right now only 1 point out of that cut line, but it's going to be tight going into Daytona between you, Fletcher, and Brookover here going into that first elimination race of the playoffs, man. Take us kind of back through this one and what's going to go through your mind here as you maybe take a scan over those points.
Yeah, I can't ask for a whole lot more than that. I mean, it was a really great points night. I missed week 1 of the chase here, and so I just needed a good points night tonight because I can't win and lock myself in. So we did that. Man, I should have qualified better. I had a fast car. I felt like I could have been up towards the front, maybe even got that bonus point for getting on the pole. But we clocked the wall coming off turn 4. That was unfortunate. and kind of missed the strategy there when that first caution came out. We should have topped off on fuel. We didn't. We stayed out. So that kind of put us off there on the first set of stage points. And yeah, we had a clean race. We did a good job of saving tire. We were fast all night. Felt like late in the race, a few of those other guys definitely found some speed, and yeah, it's just unfortunate for me that those guys were able to save fuel. I didn't really even think of that as being a possibility. I thought they'd still have to stop a second time, but yeah, congratulations to Wesley Burke on the win, and Sean, great job on saving fuel there, and Jordan as well.
Yeah, great run there for Jordan. Top 5 run there for that 33 ride, but a great run for yourself as you park yourself there on the podium, man, making up a lot of ground. At least give yourself a chance and an opportunity to still try to punch your ticket on through to the second round of these playoffs. But man, hell of a show, hell of a run here tonight for yourself, Grant. Who would you like to thank for a great performance out there at Dover Motor Speedway?
Yeah, I guess I'd like to thank the guys in my corner there, Rubbered Up Motorsports, Josh, Jeremy, and Jack. And I guess Jordan's kind of a part-timer. I'm not sure. Maybe he's in it too. But yeah, thanks to those guys. I'm definitely going to need them next week. Daytona, those are your friends. So we're going to try to get as many of us into the next round as possible. I'd like to thank Josh and Brian for doing everything that they do with the admin work here, putting on such a great league. Peacemaker Gaming, thank you for taking time out for us to be able to watch these broadcasts back and share it with our family. Really appreciated, and yeah, that's all I got. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, Grant, heck of a run, heck of a race for you here tonight, brother. Congrats on that third place finish, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack for our first elimination race of our playoffs there at Daytona next Saturday night.
Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, the 88 of Grant Wesley. As Grant comes home in position number 3, man. Great run, great race there for that 88 ride, and it's going to be fun to see what they got in store for us again next Saturday night here at the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here in this one, man. Some great racing, some great action, man. A little craziness early on, a few big wrecks, but then some great green flag racing to finish off this race. These guys, I want to say, pretty much did that final stint, that final stage, clean and green, no caution flags throughout a 100-lap run there to finish off this race, which was absolutely wild. And these guys put together, a great run and some great work out there to put together a great show for us here in some green flag battling here late in this race. But man, it was a ton of fun, ton of great racing, ton of crazy action there and different strategies. And as the smoke settles here at Dover and teaming Miles the Monster here at the Monster Mile, it's Wesley Burke who finds victory lane and gets to celebrate here this evening. Second win in our playoffs for that 09 ride, setting himself up nicely as they go into Daytona. He should be pretty much locked in points-wise, and I do believe if he does show up for Daytona, he'll be locked in through those wins. But if he doesn't show up, he should still be good on points to move forward into our second round of these playoffs for Wesley Burke. And for everyone else, man, it's still going to be a dogfight. It'll be really, really interesting to see how it all plays out, how it all shapes up, and see who is able to move forward and in to the second round of our playoffs here in Season 7 of the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs, man. It's already been a crazy season. There's a lot of craziness left to be had and a champion still to be crowned here on this season, man. Gonna be a lot of fun, but unfortunately that is going to do it for us here tonight, man. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love all evening long. Everyone coming with the likes, comments, any of the new subscribers as well, any of the donations, everything else, man. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and if you haven't already, it's not too late to hit the like button, hit that thumbs up button for us right now, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and we will see you guys back in here for a double header tomorrow night. Doubleheader racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming starting at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here on Peacemaker for some more amazing NASCAR racing here in Peacemaker Gaming, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of great racing. Going to be another great couple shows tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll see you guys all back up in the grandstands to cheer on our amazing drivers there tomorrow. But thank y'all for watching here tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Engines roar, the night ignites, rubber burns under neon lights, chrome shining, stars align, dreams hit the track, now it's grind time. Wrapped tight, tailpipes glow, pit stop precision, gotta keep that flow. Crowds of jungle, hearts in the choke, lap by lap, adrenaline spoke. Speed kings, chasing that checkered crown. Under the moon, we don't slow down. Saturday nights, we ride, we fly. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels, heat from the asphalt raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds, grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal, victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms, the checkered flag, it seals the room. Premium league, we touch the sky. Pedal to metal, no brakes in sight. Racing forever in the glowing night. V8 screaming, thunder on wheels, heat from the asphalt raw and real. Tracks a snake, it twists and winds, grip the wheel, leave fear behind. Spotlights dance, tires squeal, victory's close, you can almost feel. Pulse is wild, the finish looms, the checkered flag, it seals the room.